Hello, in this video I'll do some exchange rate exam questions. Question 1. The exchange rate between the Japanese yen and US dollar is 110 Japanese yen per US dollar. If a chair in the US is priced at $200, what is the price in Japanese yen? The exchange rate written on top can be rewritten as follows, where 1 US dollar will return 110 Japanese yen. Let's take that chair, which is in the United States, priced at 200 US dollars. What we can do here is we can substitute out the USD. Since USD equals 110 Japanese yen, we'll make that substitution. And that $200 US chair in Japanese yen is now 22,000 Japanese yen. Question B, if a painting in Japan is priced at 8,000 yen, what is the price in US dollars? So we got that 8,000 yen painting in Japan. Notice here, if we take our exchange rate formula and we solve it for yen, just dividing through by 110, we get 1 US dollar over 110. And so now that'll allow me to make a substitution. So where I see the Japanese yen here, I'm going to replace that with 1 US dollar over 110. And now just doing the math here, we're going to get 8,000 US dollars divided by 110, almost 73 US dollars. And question 2, the exchange rate between the US dollar and euro is currently 1.1 US dollars per euro. Suppose the inflation rate in the US is 2% and in the Eurozone it is running at 3%. We want to calculate the new exchange rate 1 year later based on the purchasing power parity. So the new exchange rate will equal the initial exchange rate multiplied by 1 plus the US inflation rate, all divided by 1 plus the euro inflation rate. So our new exchange rate is going to be the old exchange rate, the 1.1 US dollars per euro, multiplied by 1 plus the US inflation rate, which is just going to be 1.02. And the euro inflation rate is 3% or 0.03. Adding a 1 to that, we get the 1.03 in the denominator. Doing the math here, we get the new exchange rate of 1.089 US dollars per euro. So because the inflation rate is higher in the Eurozone than in the US, the euro is losing value relative to the US dollar. So exchanging euros for dollars will result in receiving fewer dollars. So at one time, 1 euro would trade for 1.1 US dollars. Now, because of the higher Eurozone inflation relative to the US, 1 euro will only return 1.089 US dollars. And question 3, the exchange rate between the US dollar and Canadian dollar is 1.39 Canadian dollars per US dollar. The exchange rate between the US dollar and Australian dollar is 1.59 Australian dollars per US dollar. Let's find the exchange rate between the Australian dollar and Canadian dollar. So 1 US dollar equals 1.39 Canadian dollars. 1 US dollar equals 1.59 Australian dollars. So setting both of these equations equal to one another and solving for Canadian dollars by dividing through by 1.39. Simplifying this a little bit, 1 Canadian dollar will now trade for 1.14 Australian dollars. Or rewriting, we get the following. All right, that is it.